everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vince Stowe, joined by Jill Bryant and everybody watching us live here on Twitch. Yeah, we're just talking about try to keep track of how many squeaks we get with a chair. Something Jill and I were talking about before we went live. Go back. You get the uncut version if you're a patron as a podcast and a video. But to give you an idea of, I'm at the point where the chair's got a squeak in it. I don't know where I'm going to have to recruit somebody to come over to the house
and sit in
come in
chair.
here and sit in this chair as I sit down on the floor and be like, all right, rock forward, rock back. So I can zero in on the squeaky part and try to fix it. Because like, I'm not going to toss out a perfectly good chair just because of a little bit of squeak. But today on the show, we're going to be talking about the best video editor for Linux, Davinci Resolve. Fight me. It's got a brand new version out. I've been testing it for the past couple of weeks. I'm going to tell you about a Reddit client I ran across for my brothers and sisters out there still hanging out, finding some of the cool stuff on that site. Just going to tell you about Rusty, sudo-rs, and Ubuntu's got snapshots now. What's that?
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Ooh, but before we get into that, Jill has found new and exciting ways to wander aimlessly in virtual worlds in video games.
Yes. So I've been really enjoying playing Infinity Nikki on my Steam Deck. And actually, since the Deck's latest update, it plays much better on an external monitor with higher FPS at medium settings at 1080p, which I am grateful for, because before, if you didn't have it on 720p, you weren't having a good experience. And that's just too low a resolution when you're using an external monitor. So I was gratefully happy to be able to play Infinity Nikki at higher resolution.
Man.
And that game's locked to the Steam Deck, so you can't play it on any other Linux machine, unfortunately. But they actually, a lot of people had contacted the developers, and they said they are working on a fix. So hopefully we get one soon.
That's going to be one of those weird things with like the Steam Deck, and it's going to be locked. This is going to be something I'm testing. Why? Because here at Stone Industries, we're going to be producing the GeekDeck A5. This is a Geekcom A5 that I put together a couple of weeks back. You know, it's got the Ryzen mobile part in it. It's got the Radeon graphics, 16 gigs RAM, and it was like under $300. I'm like, yes, send me this. This is like a good PC for the price. It's not amazing, but it's like really solid piece of kit. And if you don't know, Valve, like last week before last, is like, hey, here's SteamOS recovery image. You guys go out and test it as long as it's AMD type stuff. We're not going to promise you anything, but like, I'm going to make a Steam Brick. I've always wanted a Steam Brick. I like the handheld stuff. I got big hands. It's just like seems silly to me. So that's what I've been playing with recently, and that's one of the things I want to find out, Jill Bryant, is can I run Infinity Nikki?
Yes. Probably not.
Probably because it's looking for SteamOS, Jill, not a Steam Deck.
Well, that's true. Although one of the games I was playing recently, they said they had it locked to the particular chip that was in the Steam Deck. So I don't know, but I'm hoping.
We'll see. I'm going to be trying that. I'm going to be trying GeForce Now. I'm going to be testing in-home streaming. Like right now, this has SteamOS on it. I was playing games on this last night in SteamOS.
Yay.
I'm not going to tell you about how great the experience or how not great the experience is. You're going to have to stay tuned for that. Keep track of that on Interfacing Linux. And speaking of that, I put out a video right before the show along with a big guide for the Radxa O6. AI PC development kit. It's a big metal box. Actually, it's a small metal box for the O6. If you bought one of those 12-core beasties, we've been waiting 5 months for these things to ship. They're unobtainium. You can't buy them. They sent me one. It was supposed to come with my review unit in December, Jill.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right? And like it's just getting here. It's got an Oculink adapter for PCI Express. It's got an M.2 adapter. Cool. Yeah, dude. Well, it's cool, but not cool. And like now I got to get a eGPU dock, Jill.
Yes.
And a video. I was like, I don't want to spend more money. Come on, calm down. But there's a guide on Interfacing Linux if you're just curious about like how to pull off the heatsink backplate, because you got to, clean up the thermal lube on it. You got to put some new stuff. You got to put a new cooler in there. It's relatively straightforward. It's got a horrible bracket in it. But my favorite thing about this is I legitimately, you're not going to be able to probably not even see. If you can see this dot and you're watching live and you're watching the video, maybe in the video version on YouTube, depends on how crunchy it is, there's a speck in the middle. It is microscopic to the point where I tried to wipe it off.
You thought it was a piece of dirt or something.
Yeah, there's a little thing. And it took me a minute to realize that, no, that's what the front LED adapter goes through. Yeah.
It's really tiny.
Dude, I was like, oh, and I hate this retaining bracket. There's like 11 screws in this thing. Power button's held in with hope. There's a video if you want to see me do it, and the feet. I don't put on the feet. Why? Well, because I don't like taking them back off. And usually with like a single board
cover
computer.
Those screw holes.
Right. Like this isn't a Mac M4 thing. Like, this is a single board. I'm going to be popping this thing open and close all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just like do the split feet or like put the screws somewhere to where I don't have to peel the feet off? That'd be dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I sometimes like will make my own little feet, and move it away from the screw holes. Yeah.
I got a whole yes, you can go buy a thing of feet, or you can just stick the feet, outside of that area. But like, I would like officially sanctioned split feet, or like some better. Everybody does it to it. It drives me crazy. You flip something over, you're like, "Where's the screws?" You're like, I gotta peel off something, right? Or it's gonna be under the sticker. Nobody flips these things upside down and go, "Oh my, I'm not buying that. I can see screws." No, nobody does that. All right, been doing that. Speaking of games, Jill, I tried Stellar Blade.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was at PlayStation exclusive. It was supposed to be like not quite as clunky as Dark Souls, but like a little bit like Nier.
Nice. I love Nier.
You got a lady with a big chonky sword chopping stuff up. And I'm like, all right, I'll try this thing out. It hasn't stuck with me. I have not really given it a fair shake yet. I don't like that you get like two. You get like a block, then you get a dodge on top of it. I'm like, the parry system, maybe, but it runs great, even on my 3060. So it's an Unreal Engine 5 game. And normally when we get these console ports, especially like right when they come out, they're horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a Linux thing. They're horrible on Windows too.
Yeah, and the menu systems usually have to use keyboard.
They're just bad performance, hitching, and grab. This thing was just great out of the box. Awesome. It made my 3060 scream, but it ran, did a good job at 1440p 60. I want to give them credit for that. Also, like I posted that on X, and like the Stellar Blade people were like, give it a like. And I'm like, oh, yay. I'm probably never going to buy your game though, because I don't really like it that much. So there you go. Yeah, there's that. And people get off Authy. If you're using Authy for two-factor, just bail on it. Bail on it. Don't use it. Don't use it.
I haven't used it in a while.
I went to change over, what was it? It locked me out, Jill.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I put Lineage, I upgraded the tablet, I put Authy on, I got my backup codes and everything, and I go to load the app to where it can just hook up all my stuff again, and Authy says, I can't run on your tablet. I'm like, what are you talking about? You were just running on this tablet 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is not officially sanctioned. Google just doesn't run. But it didn't say, it's like, good thing you have another tablet signed into the same account where you can recover all of your stuff, because if you didn't, you'd be hosed.
Yeah, you'd be really screwed.
Like, that permanent failure state right there. And it turns out to export your stuff from Authy, you need to have a rooted device. I don't know if I've been over that. Fortunately, I did. I exported that. And especially with like the security stuff people have been dealing with, like with Authy, like get away from it. I got bad feels for that. But I got good feels for the piece of software that made this video. Actually, it didn't make the podcast, but it exported the podcast because it could export MP3s now. That was a new feature last year. I'm talking about the best video editor available on Linux. You're welcome to fight me anytime you want. I'm talking about Davinci Resolve. 20 is out, and you can play with it.
Cool.
It's pretty dope. It's 2025, so like everything else, there's AI just rubbed all over it.
Yeah.
Just smeared all over it. Just been drugged through the AI pits because you got to AI all the stuffs. But there's a useful one, at least for me. Right here. This is going to be on signed.com. There'll be a link in the show notes if you want to go check it out. AI IntelliScript. I thought this was kind of silly at first. I did. I looked at it. I'm like, okay. What do you do? And I was like, well, if you run this, it will, on a chunk of video, like let's say this little segment for the show, like 30 minutes, and it'll take out all the dialogue and put it in a text file. I'm like, that's neat.
Yay.
I mean, we've been able to do that with the AI, what do you call it? Subtitles, which was a feature added
ages, yeah.
a little while ago, a couple months back. And I was like, okay, I don't get it. And it's like, no, but you can export it to text file. Cool. Then you can open the text file. I'm like, yeah, I know how to open text file. Then you can edit that. And move the words around wherever you want in that file. Like I could put the beginning in the middle to the end. I can chop bits out and reorganize just by, what people are saying. Re-import that text file and it will automatically reclip everything.
See, that's the amazing thing about AI. That's awesome. Saves all that work.
That's a useful piece of kit right there for like doing a rough cut of 30 minutes is not like when I'm in here, like recording stuff for Interfacing Linux, you never leave footage on the table. Like I come in, I start recording. I can be in here 3 or 4 hours and like sifting through that. Like, and if I was doing multicam, anything along those lines. So I was really happy to see that. I've already used it. And of course it's got a bug. Once you do that, you try to drop like the full clip back into the timeline because you're like, oh yeah, I need some algo. It's like, this is your new clip now. The one I made for you. Is there a way to go back? No. Like, there's also Dialogue Matcher, which is pretty interesting. I didn't get a chance to try it out. So leveling audio is pretty easy to do. We do it automatically. I use a plugin called Master Me to do it live. There's a bunch of stuff I do over here on this PC that takes care of that. And, if we get too loud, too quiet, it just kind of keeps everything like lined up on the live stream and in the podcast recording. But there's another factor to that. Leveling is just part one of the situation. How many times have you been listening to a podcast? And it's really clear, like somebody's on a microphone and somebody's on a Logitech headset from 2005 that they found and taped back together. And they got, like it just completely, it's jarring, when you're like listening to 2 different people or 3 different people and like, whoa, it's all over the place. So when you want to talk about like matching room tone, ambience, and basically making everybody sound like they're in the same room or it's all coming out of the same spot. And I do that over here with Reaper with the mix bus, and I tie that again. Got to make us sound like me and Jill are effectively in the same room-ish, This is allegedly going to be able to try to do that automatically. Might be a good idea to try it out if you got DaVinci Resolve. And I haven't got a chance to play with that. But animated subtitles, the TikTokification is upon us. Because you got to have jiggly subtitles in your vertical videos these days, or you're not even trying anymore. And something that was added earlier in the betas, ProRes on Linux and Windows, but more importantly on Linux. Oh, if you need a deliverable mezzanine format, ProRes is there finally. And it's also buggy, really, really buggy. I've got a list of them. And I hate it that every company should be forced to have a GitHub or, some type of GitLab and someplace with a bug tracker where I can go and just leave a bug instead of like on their forum or sending them an email. That seems so radically inefficient. Oh, if you're on version 18, 15, 18, 19, hold off for that point release because this is going to have a stack of like little edge case bugs. Like I got a bug right now. to where it doesn't want to export H.264, something that was recorded in H.264 lossless. It doesn't want to. It can't export that using GPU acceleration.
Oh.
265, it's fine with. DNX HD, it's fine with. 264, that codec is like, man, I got to run that on the CPU. And I'm like, why? It's like, I feel like it. Any way around that? Nope.
Interesting.
There it is. And of course, I'm fully aware of all the great open source nonlinear video editors available on Linux. OpenShot, Olive,
KDN Live,
Shotcut, I think's one. That sounds like a name. I don't know.
Yeah, Shotcut's good.
Go play with those. DaVinci Resolve having Linux support and have had Linux support since, DaVinci Resolve started as a Linux application back in the day, not a Windows app, not a Mac app. It was a Linux appliance. And they've done a reasonably good job keeping parity. If you got an NVIDIA card, there's the catch.
Yeah.
There you go. I could say, there's a free version that is very well full featured to get you learning on it. But if you're looking for that step up, the biggest thing with DaVinci Resolve with me, that's not the features, Jill. It's not even the ability to render videos out much faster by leveraging compute.
Yeah.
The killer feature for me in DaVinci Resolve is one thing and one thing only. Stability.
Yes. Absolutely. It makes a big difference.
I can work 18 plus hours on a project and never have to think about it crashing.
Yeah.
I have muscle memory that I completely subconscious where I hit Control S. I don't need to. It's not going to crash. When DaVinci Resolve crashes, I'm like, usually followed by like, I kind of deserved that. I probably shouldn't have been trying to do that on this hardware. Yep. All right. That was on me. All right. Take two. And that's the big thing. Go try it out. It works on AMD GPUs with ROCm.
Yes.
I don't have an AGP. I haven't done it yet. I think I'm going to get it like a RX 580 off eBay. Now, maybe that'll work with, I want to do a little testing with that. And I've already done a video about how to get it working with the Pro drivers if you need all of that goodness. So there you go. Nonlinear video editing on Linux. That's what I use to make the shows. I'm a fan of the product. I bought my copy of it. And let me be very clear. You can buy a copy of DaVinci Resolve, not a license. I bought
no monthly subscription.
Dude, I bought my copy when it was DaVinci Resolve 12, free upgrades since then, and free upgrades since before that, from 12 to 20. I think that's a pretty good value for it. I think it'd be like $300 for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's one of the best prosumer video editors on Linux. It's, honestly as good as Premiere is and Avid and Final Cut these days. In fact, even better in a lot of ways.
It's more popular. It's easier to get your hands on.
Yeah, definitely.
They are taking a interesting approach and this was a decision made when Blackmagic bought them. The first time they discounted DaVinci Resolve to $1,200. People lost their mind because that was a steal for $1,200, and they kept driving it down because you know what, that gets people like me talking. $300. I'm like, I can afford $300. I'm not gonna be happy about it, and then they have the free version. Get people using that. And how many times you run into this if you're doing video editing and like you're using KDN Live? I got most of my experience in KDN Live. OpenShot before that, but I'd be looking for something. I'm like, I need to try to do this effect, and it's you and 6 other people that have ever tried to do that. And only one of them has a forum post from 5 years ago that nobody ever answered.
Yeah.
Millions of people use DaVinci Resolve, and it's got parity between Mac, Windows, and Linux. So you run into that situation where you're like, oh, yes, I'm the 10,000th person to ask this question. And here's 70 different guides on the front page.
Yeah.
To be able to do it. So, and plus it's a transferable skill because production houses actually use it. So yeah, good times, man.
Well, the other cool thing is their color grading. And one of the big big deals is that there is now a competitor to Adobe After Effects included in Davinci called Fusion. And you can buy that as a standalone app as well.
Fusion's getting there. Fusion's been around for a long, long time.
It has.
They're definitely starting to work on their motion and animation side of that. Mm-hmm. So to help out with their post stuff. And you get Fairlight.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is a steaming pile of junk. Hate it.
Not quite there yet.
It's never going to be. Okay. The cut page is a waste of space. The cut page, Jill, is so bad. There's the edit page. The edit page is where everybody spends their time. That's got most of your stuff on it. The cut page was like, here's our stripped down version of the edit page made for like multicam. And nobody used it. And they remember that little DaVinci Resolve thing they released with a little wheel on it that they gave away with a copy of DaVinci Resolve. It had a little jog dial on it, but that only worked with the cut page. They're like, we're going to make you love it. And everybody's like,
that's right. Yeah.
No, not even with that. Not even with that, buddy. Like, Fairlight audio plugins don't, your VSTs and your VST3s don't work under Linux. Why? Shrug emoji. They just don't want to. There's no technical reason. And it uses ALSA instead of jack, so you're like tied in. I got Blackmagic Capture audio hardware, so it's not a big deal. But like, if you're just putting it on like a regular PC, it's going to lock up your audio sound system, and like just because reasons. So yeah, not everything's perfect because they're definitely trying to get it more into the commercial outside of like the super pro, like studio house production of like here's a dedicated workstation to like something that you can just fire up and run. But there's still a lot of that DNA in there, especially on the Linux side of like, no, this is the editing machine. What do you want to listen to a YouTube video? Go to the YouTube video listening machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Fairlight. Fairlight is, it will drive you mad if you use a digital audio workstation. That's all I'll say. It will drive you up the wall trying to like Google of like, why did you do this way? That's wrong. But it can be made to work. It's better than nothing. There you go. Nice. There you go. Let's talk about Reddit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Reddit, I'm looking at my notes. I'm like several months back, probably like a year ago, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. They made a change effectively killing off third-party apps.
Oh.
And it was a good time. It was a good, we had Bacon Reader, anything
I love
but
bacon.
Yeah. And I used Relay. It was a sad day, dude. The official Reddit client is garbage, will always be garbage, continues to be garbage. If you use it, I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to say to that. Like Jordan and I discovered an app years ago, like 7 or 8 years ago, called Relay for Android. And it was made by D. Brady. And, it had a free version, ad supported, but like I bought the pro version, got rid of the ads. Great. Never thought about it for years until they made this change. And what they did is they restricted access to Reddit's API. So you're stuck in this situation to where you get a limited amount of API calls that you can make every month. So what D. Brady had to do was like change it to a subscription service. And I'm like, I'm not paying a subscription service to like check, our single board computers and our hardware, all my tech subreddit. So I'm like, that's not going to happen. And I started using the one that was, they made an exception for an Android app called Red Reader because it had a bunch of accessibility options in it.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
For like visual and so it got a free pass. It was allowed to continue using that. The problem with that is Red Reader sometimes will go months at a time without being able to log in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really under active development. So I went looking around and I found this project called Slide. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is great. You create your own API key, real easy to do, your developer key, punch that in and just off to the races. Then I went to the GitHub page and I'm like, this project has been archived. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. No,
Oh,
I've been looking for something. Then I found out it's back. Oh,
Yay.
somebody forked it, Jill.
Yes,
they did.
Very exciting.
Oh, open source, ad-free browser for Android. Easy to install. Don't listen to any of this. Get it on GitHub. I don't know what Discoverium is.
Discoverium?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that one either.
Sure, click it. Are we going to click it live?
Uh-oh.
Let's go find out. Let's go on a side quest, everybody. To Android app for discovering open source Android apps. Or how do you discover the discovery them, though? I need an Android app for the Android app for the Android app.
They should put in F-Droid, too. That would be a good idea.
F-Droid would be nice. The version on Google Play is outdated. It works. It's functional, but it's got a little bug to where, like, if you're doom scrolling, you're busy doom scrolling, it'll run out and you'll have to restart at the beginning. Big fan of it. Like, out of the box, it's a bit zoomer mode for me. You know, like all like big pictures and, you know, autoplay stuff. But you can nerf it back down. Get it to something more sane. And like I said, it requires you to make that developer application key. Get the one from GitHub. It's an APK. You can download it. You know, right click on the GitHub page, click Save Page As. You know how to download stuff from GitHub. We've all been over that. And try it out if you want to escape the dystopian nightmare that is the official Reddit. Because I did try it. Can you tell I upgraded and I had to change stuff on one of my tablets recently? Hi, this is your, you know, every 2 to 3 year Android update from old Banvin. I'm like, all right, we need to find new things. Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's slick. Big fan of it. There you go. It's free. Go try it out. If you've been
really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I always liked Slide myself because it had like customizations per subreddit, which was really nice, and the zooming and all that, and the customization is wonderful, and it's got just a really nice interface. And I'm excited to see it getting support again with this fork. Awesome.
I had a depression arc when I saw that, and I'm like, this is great. This is, dude.
Finally.
How many times have you felt like the perfect application? And after a bit of digging to it, didn't come up on like your first search. Like you found it in a forum post and you end up on like a GitLab or GitHub page. And you're like, this is the perfect, and it says right in the description, is like the perfect thing you were looking for. And it's like not updated 9 years ago. And I'm like,
I know. Yeah. I was so bummed when we lost Bacon because that was the one I was using as my default. Yeah.
So this works, and you know, you long as you're still able to do your own API key thingy, you're good to go, and you can make it as zoomery, whooshy, pitchery as you want, or you can just dial it back to like I do. Like, just give me the text.
Text,
because like I'm there to check out, you know, hardware news, collecting the information for these shows. So yeah, and I guess the comment section worked. I wasn't.
Nice.
You want to go fight with the type of people that leave Reddit comments? You do you. All right, Jill, tell me about sudo make me a rusty sandwich.
Yes, make me a rusty sandwich. That was funny, Ben. So yeah, there's big news for us Ubuntu users. Ubuntu 25.10 questing Quokka, which is coming out in October, will be using a Rust-based alternative, sudo-rs, for privileged escalation instead of the traditional sudo, which is written in C. This is a big change. Sudo-rs is a memory-safe version of sudo and su, which aims to improve security and eliminate memory safety vulnerabilities. Over at itsfoss.com, they state, Canonical has set out to purposefully oxidize Ubuntu by introducing Rust-based alternatives to existing components like sudo, core tools, find utils, and diff utils with the help of a new command line utility, Oxidizer. Now, they have announced that the upcoming Ubuntu 25.10 release will be moving to a Rust-based alternative of sudo. So yeah, this is really big news. And some of the benefits of sudo-rs include a more modern code base, improved error handling, focus on long-term maintenance, and better security because of the use of Rust, which is a memory-safe language. And sudo-rs is not expected to bring over all the features of sudo, as the developers are taking a less is more approach. And don't worry, Classic sudo will be around for the foreseeable future, but sudo.rs will now be the default for Ubuntu. And I think it's actually going to be really interesting to see if Fedora, OpenSUSE, Debian switch to sudo-rs soon for better security. I see that coming pretty quickly.
This is going to be another thing on my long list of things I got to deal with when using an Ubuntu machine.
Yes. So, like sudo apt install.
I'm on Ubuntu. As long as sudo is still there, they don't like swap it out. I'm like,
yeah.
Why is Firefox installed as a snap canonical? Why?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a good reason, do you? No, you don't. You just tried to get people to use Snap. Didn't work. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this is not yet another thing Canonical delivers a swift death to. Like so many other technologies. Yeah. Like sudo-rs is like, you can go to there. You can go set it up on your machine.
You can go play with it.
Yeah. The whole less is more. You're not selling me on that. Here's sudo, but it does less. I'm like, it's sudo, man.
Yeah. Super user su. Super user do.
I don't know. I'll revisit it in the future. And also, like, I will never remember to type in sudo-rs unless it's like aliased.
I know, me too. But if it's going to be the default, then it will,
Get out there, test it out, play with it, get the rusty tools.
Yes, absolutely.
Take them for a spin. What we got up next? So snapshots.
Oh boy! Well, and speaking of Ubuntu, another new and improved change is coming upon us as well. Ubuntu announced new monthly development snapshots for upcoming Ubuntu releases. These snapshots are curated, testable milestones, not new stable releases, which is really, really great. The OMG Ubuntu Linux News website states, with more extensive automated testing of ISO, installer, and critical OS features happening throughout the development cycle, the new monthly snapshots should allow major issues to be found sooner and reduced pressure from release dates. Well said. And actually, they will not have their own version number, but a snapshot number, and that makes sense because it's not an official stable release or a numbered release, so they use snapshot numbers. So Ubuntu 25.10 questing Quokka, the snapshot schedule is going to be May 29th, snapshot 1, which you can go play with and test now. And then there's going to be snapshot 2 on June 10th, snapshot 3 on July 15th, and snapshot 4 on August 19th. Then on September 18th, the Ubuntu 25.10 beta is released, and on October 9th, the final Ubuntu 25.10 is scheduled for release. So that's just, this is a really cool thing because these monthly development snapshots will not change Ubuntu's 6-month release cycle schedule cadence, but the end result will be a more stable and reliable Ubuntu experience for all of us. So they're really, really focusing on, getting releases out quicker and getting, that hardware enablement out there quicker and more testing. So that's really good, Ubuntu. Thank you.
That's good. I mean, one good thing about like snapshots is, as opposed to a rolling release, is you can try the next new thing. And like, let's just say with your software hardware combination, something don't work right. But you don't want to go all the way back. Yeah. You can just go back and install the previous snapshot and like the one that did work. So yeah, that's extra work. They didn't have to do it, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. As somebody like, it's finally calming down. I switched over my repo on my Debian 12 box to Debian Trixie, which is testing, and like they've did the code freeze now, and I can finally feel a train pulling into the station when I run apt update. It's not like 192 packages since when? 30 minutes ago. Come on, man. And just open, nothing breaks. So like having that snapshot, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good way to do testing.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Canonical. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like our me and Ven use the Firefox nightlies, and it's kind of a version of that. So very cool.
I was just going to keep using 2010. Ubuntu 2010. I found out that's the best one. Why? Because it works with effects on ARM.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where their PPA is. There's going to be a great point in that video, everybody, where you tell people to pay attention, right?
Yeah.
You try to. And like when you install Ubuntu 2010 on ARM, and I'm assuming on x86 too, your first boot, it pops up a little window and it's like, hey, the new version of Ubuntu's out. Wouldn't you like to update it? I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That, like, no joke. Like because we're going to be installing a PPA that is like hard coded to 2010. And, I guarantee you, try to remember, it might be about another month before this, I get to make it. I'm going to make it a point in the video, like, do not click upgrade. And I guarantee you somebody's just going to wing him, like, whatever, I can upgrade if I want. Because like, the next step is going to be like, go back and reinstall Ubuntu. Because it's not going to work with anything but 20.10. Because we're doing this with a PBA. I guarantee you there's going to be angry comments. I'm like, I'm like, of course you did. You didn't pay attention. Ubuntu. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
It's good. Snapshots. I'm here for it. We'll wait and see on the rusty sudos. Good luck with it.
Yeah.
In the tooly bits. But, I forgot to say at the beginning of the show. Well, if you're watching live, you're watching live. Next week, we're going to try, almost guaranteed, because Twitch has been fighting me for the past couple of weeks of exporting from Twitch to YouTube. Saturday, we do Linux Gamecast Weekly. We finish Linux Gamecast Weekly at like 10:45, 11 p.m. I export, right?
Yeah.
I export. It was not ready at 2:40 p.m. the next day.
The next day, wow.
It's just been getting worse and worse and worse. So next week, we're going to do a little trace around. We're going to be streaming on YouTube.
Okay.
I know. Wait, I know most of you are like, yeah, you've done that before, and you'll do it again. I'm like, also right. So there's just your heads up. Let's see who remembers.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll get higher video quality anyway. There we go.
Yay. And I just wanted to mention that my Steve husband in chat, LGC Steve husband on Twitch, says, holy guacamole for the Ubuntu release and all the changes. That was perfect, Steve husband.
A little bit of
the
lag.
Ultimate dad joke. Because Ubuntu 25.10, once again, is called Questing Quokka. So,
yeah, right.
Pretty good for someone who's not who uses Linux because the wife installs it on his machine.
I got faith in you, Steve. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you like what we do, head over to linuxgamecast.com. Click on that support button, become one of our beautiful party patrons, get access to our super secret Discord, live and uncut versions of these shows, commercial free. You even get a video version that's not even on YouTube. You can download it, do whatever you want to it, put funny faces on it, put it in Davinci Resolve, and go play around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Access to our gaming streams. Come join the TM2 crew. If you're looking for something to do on Tuesdays and Fridays, we get a pre-built group. We slowly absorb people. I see Scott. Scott's like, we got him. It's too late for him. There's no escape from Scott. We get together as physics, platforming, thinking, arcade, craziness, and that's what we do on Tuesdays. We just throw some new maps on there. It runs on a potato. It's a great game. And on Fridays, we do RPG, which is a puzzle that usually takes us anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half to get through an obstacle course with cars. And it always breaks down. If you haven't watched one of those, it's great because we always start out with like, all right, rah, 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 team. We get grumpy with each other after about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
It's lovely. It's great. We got, you just got to experience it. I have a great time playing it. Hopefully it's fun to watch, and you're welcome to come join in on that. And on top of that, it's running on a Raspberry Pi in the rack back here, which makes it that more special. You can find all of our social medias and things in the links below the video description, and podcast available where podcasts are sold. People don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure we don't sell podcasts. We just give everything away for free. And if you like it, we're like, hey, it'd be dope if you kick us a couple of quarters. Horrible business model, but I clearly didn't get into this to make money, kids. We do it for fun. All right.
You can buy merch too. I got my LWDW shirt on.
Store.linuxgamecast.com. That exists. It's under the support tab, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe. Yeah, it's down there. All right. And interfacing Linux. Go check out my latest video. Give it a watch. Give it a like. If you don't, that's okay. We can still be friends and keep track of what I'm doing over there. Got a bunch of fun stuff coming up. We're going to be making, like I said, the Geek Deck. We're going to be testing out and finding all the interesting things about SteamOS. It's not going to be as entertaining as a bunch of YouTubers that are going to be doing it that don't know delete expletive about Linux, because you can hate watch them and be like, "Rawr, you didn't do it right." I'll do it less wrong. I'm not saying I'm going to do it right, but I'll try to answer some of the questions that other people may have. And then we're going to be coming back with this O6, rocking and rolling, doing some x86 emulation with FX and a AMD GPU and just trying to melt stuff down. And there's even more after that. All right, beautiful people, time to get bouncy.
Yay.
And roll them credits.
Thank you to our advisor, our Theron, and our executive producers, Atomic, 12345, Karaducky, Drummer 7, the Targos, our Chicago Kicks Mules level, Glorious Integral, Basil, Empty, our Sea Monsters, System T, Veritanuda, Treggy, Mike, our Death Notes, me and my husband Steve, Redis,
Mark. Just us. Yeah, all right. Ouch.
I've been on there forever.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, plenty a week to get up to something. Have a great one. Get out there, have some fun. We'll be around. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, everyone. I think that's the first time I pointed out me and my husband.